Hey man, always doing things for God, man. It's an honor. Shout out to my SRN, SCRN family. Loving Atlanta, to my lead host, Joyce White, and my main man, Clark Garrison, to the whole family.
I was just gonna ask, man, what brings you to the ATL?
Just like with my brother Terrell Jenkins here, Spiritual Mechanics, got nominated for I Am a Testimony Award. As I tell anybody, whether we win or not, just being nominated, we're all winners. I believe that anybody with a testimony who strives to use their testimony as a tool to empower people and uplift them is winning through the kingdom. So I'm happy.
Well, I know your testimony. If you don't mind, for the people who will be seeing this, tell us briefly about where you're coming from, brother.
Well, you're talking to a guy who used to be 6 years old, lost his father from the age of 11 to 21. I was gang banging, a street enforcer. I've seen many of things that most people look at as a nightmare. So through that transition, going into prison at the age of 21, going on 22, all the way to 29, I felt my calling. My third year in prison, I was noticing that people was attracted to the way I was talking, how they was feeling uplifted. People want to commit suicide, just give up on life. They was rebuilding themselves based on how God was using my vessel. It was to the point to where COs and the assistant warden would come in on that day off to hear me speak. I knew then that my calling was justified by God. And from then on out, when I got out of prison, a lot of people have a judgmental view. Once you go to prison, you become that same person. But I realized one thing, I was that same person, I just took a different avenue. And that's when I started getting into acting, did a little bit of modeling, and then my first ever radio interview was Joyce White. And then I went from there to start speaking, using what God had given me. Then I met you, Mr. Clark Garrison. And we've been on fire, man. We've been on fire. So right now, this is just the beginning. And anybody who's watching this right now, I'm here to tell you right now, please, please, please remember one thing. No matter where you're going, as long as you know where you're going, that makes the biggest difference. Because we can talk about all day what we're supposed to be, what we should do, but unless you have a specific demographic of your purpose, you will never know. And as my famous words, always stay spiritually activated.